Hi class, my name is Vivian Gaytan, and this is my rough draft of our social studies lesson planned for Liberal Studies 498. The standards that I will be focusing on, or the social studies standard that I will be working on, is HSS-3.4.4, which is understand the three branches of government with an emphasis on local government. And the ELA standard that I will be focusing on is 3.SL.1, which is engage effectively in a range of collaborative discussions. This could be one-on-one, in groups, or teacher-led, with diverse partners on grade 3 topics and texts, building on others' ideas and expressing their own clearly. So this lesson would, of course, or the step-by-step activity would first start with you informing students of the purpose of this lesson, which is to understand the three branches of government, which is the legislative, executive, and judicial. This would be the time that you would also announce standards to students so that they know exactly what is expected of them. The next step I would do is introduce students to the vocabulary, which I'll have listed in the link when I post this. And that's just 15 vocabulary words that have to do with the three branches of government and also local government. And I also included some words that students might not know in third grade, such as like interpret, things like that, just so that the students really understand what language is being used when teaching this lesson. The next step would also be to but pass out. There's 2 worksheets that I will also be listing. That can be done as a group. Maybe one can even be sent for homework. There's also task cards that will be attached to this, where maybe instead of like too much, not having so much independent work, students can maybe work with a partner working on these cards. And then finally, I'm going to get right into the activity. So this activity would mainly be to divide your class up into 3 groups. That way each group will focus on one branch. So one group will be working on the legislative, the other group will be working on the executive, and the third group would be focusing on the judicial branch. So they'll go off into their groups, and the main outcome of this is for them to present their branch to the class. That could be done either through PowerPoint, it could be done through conversation, maybe poster board. It's just a creative space for the students to display their knowledge of what they've learned. And what's expected of the students is just to explain the role of their branch and how it ties into how all the branches work together. Pause. And while they are presenting their specific branch, it would also be beneficial for students to include what occupations are found underneath that branch, or roles, for example, the president under the executive. And this would also be a good time for them to show how they've learned the vocabulary of this lesson. And to touch back on the ELA standard and the social studies standard, I think this is a great activity for students to, well, one, work together, because I know as humans we work better learning from our peers. So this will give them the opportunity to share ideas, work together to present that to the class and assign each other specific jobs while they're explaining their own branch, and then being able to sit back and watch the other groups also present, and maybe perhaps they have a different way of presenting. Obviously, they're doing a different branch, so students will be learning something new. And that is the end of my social studies lesson plan. Thank you so much for listening.